Good morning, everybody. It's 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time, and I am excited to be here with you. I'm going to give you a chance to start tuning in, and so I am going to do what I normally do while everybody is gathering, and it's I am enough of, of, I am enough. Oh, 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 I am enough. Yes, I am enough. Oh, 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 I am enough. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Uh-huh. I am enough. Oh, oh, I am enough. Oh, 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 I am enough. Yes, yes, I am enough. Oh, 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 I am enough. Yeah, yes, I am enough. Oh, 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 I am enough. Hey, 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 I am enough. Yeah, yes, I am enough. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Oh my goodness. Welcome. Welcome to our countdown to You Ask Good Men Answered Virtual Summit. It is my joy and delight to be with you this morning. I got up early this morning because I wanted to watch the royal wedding, and I am just full. I'm so full from having watched it. It was true. The love just oozed out of my television screen this morning, and I just found myself just caught up in it, loving the sentimentalities and the tiny things that happen, that were a little bit different than previous royal weddings I had been to. And it was just great. Y'all love is great. Good morning, Deb. Good morning. Girl, you get the job, my point person. You're my point person. So that just in case Facebook Live decides it wants to kind of do its own little thing, or my Wi-Fi decides it wants to have a mind of its own this morning, I have Deb to let me know when the sound is going in, going out, everything is right. When I look and I see Deb, I know that everything is good. Can you hear me okay this morning? Can you hear me okay? Fantastic. If you are here, thank you, Deb. If you are here, let us know that you're here. Now, one of the things I'm noticing different from going live on my cell phone as opposed to going live on my tablet is I can see the people that comment, but I can't see the people who are listening. So it's very important that you comment to let me know you are here. So when you check in, just say, hi, Suzette, I'm here. And that way I know that I'm talking to you. If what I say resonates with you, give me that thumbs up like. If it really, really resonates with you, show me some love. Use that love emoji. And if it's like, oh my God, oh, did you not just say that? I've had a bing bing moment. Then you know that emoji that goes, ooh. Every time I see it, I want to sing, ooh. But anyway, if something like that happens, then use that emoji and let me know you are here. Let me know you're here. Now, I got some preliminaries, and I've got my little notes right here beside me because, like I said last week, I'm not faking the funk. I know that I'm getting older and I need my little help here to remind me to stay on track because there are a lot of things that I want to share in a short amount of time. The first thing that I wanted to share with you, Of course, first, before anything else, got to give a shout out to the sponsors of my You Ask Good Men Answered 4th Annual Virtual Summit. This year I have 5 sponsors, and these are all entrepreneurs, they're business women, and even though I had not met them before, just the quality and the integrity that they're bringing to this summit lets me know they are wonderful women. So I don't feel, apprehensive about telling you about them, so that you'll look them up, that you'll look at their Facebook pages and check out what they have, because it is wonderful. So, to make sure I don't forget anybody, Christy Cuttino, she has a business called Meal Fit Mama, and she's for a holistic health company, It Works, and she has been contributing to this summit. We have Melody Branch. Melody is the co-owner of Quotes from My Heart, LLC, and what I told you all last week is that she had her people, the artisans that work as part of her company, they designed a necklace specifically for the summit. Because I always go, I am enough, right? That is the mantra. That is what I want to make sure everybody understands, to find out what makes you enough, your enough factor. So I am enough is what I start out with. I sing it so that you will be reminded that you are enough. And so they designed a necklace that says, I am enough. Really great, really great. Then we have Joy Johnson. She's the owner of Joy Sunshine, and that's J-O-I. Interesting spelling. And she has this Joy Sunshine box that is off the chain. And I told her to send a surprise box because I wanted whoever wins that box to get the wonderful trinkets and heart-centered items that she puts in that box just for you. And then there's Suzy Lynette Sanders. She's the owner of Something by Net. Her jewelry is top of the line, well made. And next week I'm going to bring the gifts out, and I'm going to show you live so that you can see just how beautiful it is in 3D. But I'm telling you, the pictures don't do any of this justice. And then there's Maria Conda. Out of this group, she was the only person that I knew because I had been a guest on her Luminosity podcast. And she is the founder of Flourish and Freedom, which brings me to the winner of the pop-up giveaway. If you all haven't registered, make sure you register so you can participate in the pop-up giveaways. We had a pop-up giveaway last week. I didn't announce it here. Why? Because some things are reserved for people who register. Some things are because these people have taken it a step further. They have invested, they have committed and said, you know what, I'm coming to your summit. I don't have to wait till August to know. I know I'm coming, so I'm going to go on and early register. And those are the people who are eligible for the pop-up giveaways. They're the people who are already invested by coming to the summit. And I mean, you don't have anything to lose because the summit is free and it's online. So there's no difference in waiting now and waiting August. And so I wanted to reward people that decide to show up early and not wait till the very last minute. So the pop-up giveaways are for them. I'll tell you about what they won, but maybe you can be a winner. If so, if you want, but you won't be a winner, rather, if you don't register. And the winner of the pop-up giveaway, and there will be several of them, but the winner of the first pop-up giveaway is Jennifer Weiss. I don't know if she's on. Jennifer, if you're on, tuning in, let everybody know that you're a winner. And what Jennifer is getting is Maria Conda's Morning Magic. Gorgeous. It is a wonderful journal where you have daily and weekly morning rituals to bring your best self forward each day. It is absolutely beautiful, and Maria has signed it. I mean, she starts with the mantra, and you have writing space, and it helps you, especially us heart connected, high achieving women. We have so many things going on in our lives that having that first in the morning time that you can sit with your journal and write intentionally. Set your intention for the day and get to the heart of the reason for it. You know, make it connected to your purpose and your passion. And her journal allows people to do that. So congratulations, Jennifer Weiss, for being our first pop-up giveaway winner. Let's see here. Make sure I catch all my points here. Let's see. Okay, I did that. Now, I also wanted to announce this morning that we have 2 more speakers who are going to be a part of our You Ask Good Men Answered virtual summit. I'm telling you, they just keep coming. It resonates with them, you know. The 2 of them are Maurice Mo James. He is the founder, president, and CEO at Maurice L. James, and he is a purposeful relationship builder. So he's going to join us and be a speaker at the summit. There's also Cornell Wright. Cornell Wright is the executive director of North Carolina Office of Minority Health and Health Disparities. I saw him on TEDx UNC, and his thoughtful talk titled What If was such that I wanted immediately to connect with him. I'm seeing somebody throwing up the love. I don't know who you are. You're going to have to tell me who you are. There's no picture to go with it. So I don't know who's throwing up the love. So I don't know who that is. But if you're one of the speakers, if you're one of the sponsors, feel free to let me know. Suzette, it's me. It's me. I'm here. I'm here with you, girl. So those are 2 more speakers who are going to be a part of our summit. I'm telling you, I am, like I say, I am beyond excited. I am beyond excited with the caliber of speakers, relationship experts, people who have studied relationships, have studied the healthy relationships. You know, people who have, you know, done the work, and they don't mind sharing with us their journey. So I am so grateful. I am so grateful that these good men, hi Tanika, these good men have consented to be a part of the summit. Quality men. And also what makes this summit unique is that it's not just relationship experts, right? A lot of times summits have experts, but I also have good men, regular men, like the man you might pass in the grocery store, or the man you might see in Lowe's Home Improvement, you know, the man that you might not think anything of, or might be in the grocery line. We need to learn how to recognize good men. So this summit brings together relationship experts and regular good men, all with one purpose, and that is to tell you about men, their context, their culture, their texture, to tell you the things that probably your dad should have told you, you know, to give you the real deal about men and where they are and how to recognize the good ones, you know, how to do that and how not to waste your time on people that aren't in alignment with who you are and where you're going and your purpose in this world. So I appreciate the good men that are going to be a part of this summit. I give them a hand. Right now, I give them a hand because they are fantastic people. Before I launch into the topic as well, I invited those who are listening and those who are following in this summit, I invited you all to help me choose this year's soundtrack. D.H. the composer, who is my son, Darian Hinton, is the musical genius, I'd like to say, behind the music that we have used in our summits past. He's been with me from the very beginning. And when you listen to the summit, the intro and the outro, those have been his musical renderings that have formed the soundtrack, a musical foundation for this summit. And so this year, he gave me some new tunes to consider. And I can't make my mind up. So I decided that during this live, I'm going to invite you all who are listening, and those of you who are going to listen to the replay, because right now you are so glued to the television watching the royal wedding and all the oohs and the ahs. But those of you that are going to listen to the replay, please feel free to chime in. And for those of you who are listening live, I'm going to play a little bit of each musical selection. Okay? They're instrumentals. And they're going to be used for the intro and the outro of the summit. And they're going to also be used as music. Whenever you think about the summit, it's going to be this music that you're going to hear. So, y'all ready? I want you to help me. I'm going to give you the name of it, right? And I want you all, I see the thumbs up. Good. I want you all to help me to select it, okay? And I hope I have it turned up high enough. Here is the very first one. It's called Bag Quest. Bag West. B-A-Q-W-E-S-T. Bag West. And this is just a little snippet of it. Now you gotta imagine me saying, hello, this is You Ask, Good Men Answer. Now that was Back West, okay? Now, the next one is, the pronunciation is Flag Crease, and that's F-L-A-G. All you have to do is say flag, and I don't know which one you're talking about, but he's named it Flag Crease. So here's about a little bit of Flag Crease. A little electro, a little techno vibe to it. Okay, so that was a little bit of Flag Crease, okay? Now, Deb is already waiting. She said she loves Love Lost, and her spelling of it is correct. Love Lost. Lawst for lost. So here is Love Lost. All right, so you heard all three of them. The first was Back West. The second was Flag Crease. And the last one was Love Lost. So I want you all to, in the comment section, let me know which one you like the best, okay? Let me know while it's fresh on your brain, which one did you like the best? And you can always go later and listen to the replay. But I want you all to comment. I also have it posted on the You Ask Good Men Answered Facebook page. So if it's like, oh man, I want to hear it, I want to hear the whole thing, then you can go, click on the link, and listen to it. And I want you all to tell me which one you like the best. And that will be the one that I will use for our summit, okay? Yes, 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 yes. So thank you so much in advance for helping me. I'm so proud of Darian. He has been into music for a very, very long time. I remember when he was a baby, he wanted to play drums on anything. When I would take him to church with me, as long as I took him some drinking straws so he could pretend that the pews were drums, he has always had music in his bones. So thank you all. Thank you, Tanika. Love Lost #1, Back West #2. Thank you so much. Others of you, weigh in. I'll be looking at some point. I haven't made my mind up when the deadline is yet. I think I'm going to let this roll a little bit until I get a real good sampling. I've got it going on different platforms, asking different people, sending it out to my email list, different ones. So I'm going to bring everything together, and then I will let you know which song, which instrumental rather, is selected for the summit. Thank you all for helping me to select it. Yay, yay. Okay, let's see, all preliminaries aside, y'all ready to get into some juicy conversation. Now, I want you to talk back at me. This is going to be a conversation because, you know, I think we all, in our formative years, I don't know too many people that have not found themselves in a situation where they ask, who am I? You know, it's like you'll have some type of pivotal moment happen in your life. Maybe something that you thought or believed one way about, life challenges it. And because it was a pillar upon which you stood, or it was a definition, you find yourself saying, who am I? You know, or where did I go? Who is this person that I'm dealing with? This doesn't feel like me. What happened to me? You know, has anybody ever gone through that where you've sat back and you wonder, wait a minute, who am I? Have you ever been so intertwined, so invested in an outcome or in a person that you, at the end of it, whatever brought that ending about, whether it was a divorce or that person died, or something, you got older, something happened, and you started grappling with, who am I? I was thinking as I was preparing for this, it's a little different being live video than it is when I am live audio, because I can have my notes right here and I can read. I can read everything. But live in front of you, I didn't want to read. I'm going to refer to some things to make sure that I, stay on topic and don't forget something. But I just want us to talk, actually, about how do we love without losing ourselves. I think the first thing we have to look at is, where was that moment? What was that moment when we made a subtle shift? A subtle shift that instead of it causing the real us to show up, it put the real us in the background. I think if we can figure out, look back and see when we started canceling ourselves out of the equation, it helps us to be more intentional about showing up as ourselves in life, in relationships, and co-creating with our Creator, with our the divine presence in our lives, a life that will support us as us. You don't see it yet, but I have some glasses, and I want to demonstrate how easy it is for us to lose ourselves, okay? So let's say this is you, okay? This is you. You're the glass, right? The glass is what everybody sees. The water is who you really are. It is the essence of you. It is the being of you. It is what gives life to the external, right? Okay, so this is you, right? This is what you give yourself to. It can be your children. It can be your family. It can be your relationship. It can be your dream, your career, the life change you want to make, whatever you give yourself to, okay? Now, I'm going to pour. Okay? This needs me. This right here. I can't get my hand to stop shaking here. Okay, there you go. This right here needs me. So I give myself to it. Now, if this right here that needs you, needing, and you notice it didn't have anything inside of it, right? So it can't give anything really back, right? So you pour in, and then it asks for something else. It asks for something else, okay? You pour out. You're giving yourself away. It asks for something else. You're giving yourself away. It asks for something else. You're giving yourself away. And what that demonstrates to me is those kinds of situations in our lives where we have friends, we have family, we have involvements that keep right on tugging, keep right on needing, keep right on asking, commanding, demanding from us, and they don't give anything back. And every time we give out to that, we're losing something of ourselves. Another thing that's a little bit more subtle, ways that we give out and lose ourselves, okay, is, I see Tanika saying, when will you replenish yourself after putting out so long? Exactly. When do you do it? Because you've gone from having this much to here. And because you still exist, right? Sometimes you don't even miss how much you've given out. Now, when you've given out to this degree, I think you start kind of feeling a little uncomfortable. You start kind of saying, oh, God, I need a vacation. Or, man, I need some sleep. You know, this is when you start realizing that something's happening. But when I first started pouring, you could hardly tell the line had moved. And for many of us, we lose ourselves a little bit at a time without replenishing, until we get to the point that we've given so much of ourselves out that this is where we are. We went from almost full, and this is where we are. But many of us, we don't realize we're in danger until we get right here. We don't realize we've lost ourselves until we get right here. But the truth is, you started giving pieces of yourself away from the beginning that went undetected. What are ways that you give pieces of your soul away? And it has become so normal, you haven't even detected it. And even when it gets to this point, instead of you realizing, wait a minute, I'm losing myself here. Wait a minute. I'm not getting what I need to be okay here. Wait a minute. I'm not showing up as me here. Wait a minute. Instead of us realizing that, we'll try to work harder, give more. We'll override and ignore it because we are so used to ignoring ourselves. You know, one of the things that I heard said, and I believe it's true, you have to betray yourself first before somebody else betrays you. Think about it. And every time we give at the expense of ourselves, because it truly is more blessed to give than to receive. I believe that. But when we give at the expense of ourselves, at the expense of our soul's joy, at the expense of what makes us feel alive, at the expense of ourselves, that's the beginnings of when we are starting to lose ourselves. Exactly, Deb. It can be such a slow process. We don't realize it. But then the sad thing that I see all the time for us high achieving women is when we get down to here, we still giving. When we get down to here, instead of us taking a break, doing what we need to do to replenish, right? We ignore it because I got to get this done. This person's counting on me. This person needs me. This person, if I don't pay attention, if I don't give him what he wants, he's going to leave me and go to somebody else. If I don't give him sex when he wants it, he's going to leave me and find somebody else. If I don't give him the attention that he wants, he's going to leave me and go somewhere else. If I don't stroke his ego first, put my needs aside and always do what he wants to do, always submit to what he wants, always make my focus him, this is what starts to happen. So, I think when it comes to relationships, when I look at the example that I've just shown you with the glasses, instead of looking for somebody who is cute, has cute eyes, or a six-pack, instead of looking for somebody who has great credit, and don't get me wrong, all those things are attractive, right? But at our age, y'all, many of us are over 30, we're over 40, we're over 50. There's got to be something different that we look for in the opposite sex than what we used to look for when we were in our 20s. We've got to upgrade what we look for. Because you might have somebody like this glass right here, nothing in it, right? You might have somebody like this, right? And let's say this is your ideal man, okay? Ideal man. He looks great on the outside. He's a glass just like you. You know, y'all might have some things in common. You know, he finishes your sentences. You know, oh my God, we talked for hours and hours and hours, and it was just so wonderful, you know. And he might look really good on paper. I mean, he's gallant, he's charming, he opens the door for you, he pays for the meal for you. Oh my goodness, he says all the things that we like to hear. Oh, your hair is beautiful. Oh my God, your eyes are limpid pools. Does anybody say that anymore? Your eyes are limpid pools. I don't even know what that means, but you know what? Hello, it's in a book. But you know, he might look like everything that you thought you wanted, right? But what if, even in him being everything that you thought you wanted, you came to the relationship full, right? You came to it full. But the longer you're with this person, to fill him up is at the expense of yourself. How do we do that? We do that when we make, and I'm talking to women now, if there are men listening, it applies to you too, but I'm talking woman to woman right now. We start to lose ourselves when we make what a man needs, what a man wants, what a man thinks, make it our focus. Now, there's nothing wrong with being mindful, right? That he likes certain things. Nothing wrong with being mindful that he has certain obligations. Nothing wrong with being mindful that certain things have meaning to him. Nothing with being mindful of it. But when he becomes your focus, and you always defer disproportionately to what he wants. Well, babe, I want to do this. Well, baby, I'd rather do that. Okay. Well, you know, my dream is important to me. Well, my dream is important to me, and I need you to support me. I need you to be there for me. Well, okay. It happens all the time. It happens all the time. We get in a state of euphoria, and then I don't know if because it was modeled to us that daddy gets the first piece of chicken before anybody else eats. I don't know if it was modeled for us that we all defer to what the man in the family wants. If he says we're going this way, even if you know that's not the best way, you sit and you take it because you think, well, he's the head. I'm not going to mess with your theology, but I'm going to be real. Because one thing I said last week, you got to be real. You got to be real with yourself in order for your relationships to become more healthy. If you're losing yourself, if you're losing your voice, if you're losing your voice, you're losing yourself. If you've gotten so focused on him, what is he doing? Who is he with? Why hasn't he called me yet? You're starting to lose yourself because you're so focused on that other person, you're not paying attention to, but what do I need? What makes me feel alive? What makes me feel like I matter? What do I need to be happy and joyful in this relationship? What do I need? Not my ego, but what does my soul, what does my soul, my being need to be in this world? Tanika says, yes, we get so fixated and focused on a man. We do. And there's nothing wrong with wanting a man in your life. Because I wanted a man in my life. And I found out, at first I thought it was simply an egoic need. I thought, and so when you feel like it's something that's egoic, you push it aside. And so I kept trying to substitute things to talk myself out of it. Because people around me were saying, well, you're single now, don't rush back into a relationship. Your son is in college. Girl, have yourself fun. Date around, do this. But something inside of me said, no, I want a partner. Not just I need a partner. I need it. I need a partner. Not because I was incomplete. I am a whole being. But in the puzzle pieces of how my life was supposed to fit together, there needed to be a loving partner in my life. And so because of that, no matter what I tried to do, there was still this sigh, this yearning. And after I sat with it for a while, I realized it wasn't coming from my head. It wasn't coming from my pain. It wasn't coming from I'll have what she's having. It wasn't coming from an ideal. It was coming from the truth of who I am. Truth of who I am. Now, let's say you find that person. So how do you love without losing yourself? Is the first thing you have to do, and I wrote this down so I wouldn't forget it. First, you have to know yourself. You have to take the time to know yourself. You have to know the context of you. You have to know Not just that red is your favorite color, but you have to know what makes you feel alive, makes you feel purposeful. You have to know what's drawing you, that something bigger is drawing you towards certain things in life. Like, for instance, it would not have made sense for me to date a man who was expecting me not to work. Because the work that I'm doing is purposeful to me, right? And oh, it's great to have a man that wants to take care of you and all that. But for me, I am wired as a person that I like to contribute. I feel I have something to contribute to the world. And if I married a man that wanted just for him to be enough and didn't want me to do those things, if he was intimidated by those things, then guess what would be happening? I'd have to give up myself to be with him. Do you understand what I'm saying? You see, when we go out with guys, we ask the wrong questions. But you have to know yourself to ask the right questions when you meet somebody. It's not what he thinks about you that matters. It's what you think about him. Not just the part of you that wants a guy to pay you attention. Not just the you that wants somebody to go to the theater with. But the you that has a sense of purpose and meaning in your life. What makes you cry? What makes you laugh without even thinking about it? What do you feel drawn to? What comes up inside of you from a bigger place? You know? So first you got to know yourself. The second thing is you got to respect what you know. I see Tanika saying we are too busy in la-la land and fantasy instead of asking the right questions. That's right, Tanika. That's right. And the reason I ended up with 2 divorces was because I didn't ask the right questions. I was so glad that somebody wanted me. I was so glad that somebody wanted to marry me, wanted to spend the rest of his life with me, that I didn't take a step back and say, but is he a good partner? You see, the beautiful thing about a good partner for you is this. And please excuse my shaking hands, okay? Okay. A good partner, let me pour some of this off. Okay? A good partner. Okay? Don't get it twisted. I'm not having you be the big cup and him be the little cup. I'm just using glasses, okay? So this is you, this is him, okay? The right partner, first of all, has something in his cup. He's not always needing you to do everything, be everything. He's got something in his cup of value. He has something to contribute to you, not just to your electric bill, but to the essence of who you are and how you are in the world and what you were put here, the part you were put here to play. Okay? Exactly, Deb. A good partner gives back. So this is you. So if you pour into him, he's pouring into you. You pour into him, he's pouring into you. If that is the way your relationship is, then nobody is creating a deficit. Nobody. And we have to be careful, especially those of us who are in helping professions, who feel called to service, coaches, counselors, what we have to be very careful of is it is so easy to forget something that Lisa Nichols says so eloquently. She says, you give to people from your overflow. She says, you give people from your overflow. So that means, hey, Adrene, that means something has to be filling you up. Now, while it's not a man or woman's responsibility to make sure your cup is full, if they gonna roll with you, they have to support you in keeping their cup full. They have to support you. Don't make it hard for me. Don't make it difficult for me to be who I am. Let's say you have a disagreement, right? A disagreement. He's not going to try to make you lose. He won't assault and insult the essence of you, though you disagree. He does not seek for you to be less powerful. Even in a disagreement, and this is where discipline and maturity comes in, because that's when usually we stop filling each other's cups and start tapping and hurting each other. But there has to be a level of respect, which is the second thing, respecting yourself. I have found that the more I respect myself, the more I respect my partner. If I respect myself too much to be called outside of my name, then even when we are having a passionate disagreement, I will not stoop so low as to start lowballing him. You're right, Tanika. Tricks are for kids. Relationships are for grown folks. And too many times, even when you bring your child to grown-up situations, you've allowed yourself to take a back seat. You see the subtle ways we lose ourselves? We let our 5-year-old self drive our relationships. We let the person post-divorce drive our relationships with the toxicity still in our womb from the hurt and pain we went through. That's a surefire way to lose yourself. As I said, you have to betray yourself first before somebody else betrays you. You have to see yourself as bigger than what you went through so that you can show up bigger in your relationships. That's how not to lose ourselves. And the third thing, I already said, know yourself, right? Respect yourself, right? Next thing, expand yourself. Expand yourself. One of the tenets of my music math approach is multiplication. I had a revelation of that Bible passage that said, be fruitful and multiply. Multiplication means expanding, up-leveling, magnifying, reproducing who you are, right? Your relationships should not subtract from who you are. shouldn't leave you in fragmented pieces trying to figure out how you fit, feeling fragmented when you come out, fractured when you come out, feel like you lost a piece of your soul when you come out of it. It's not supposed to leave you like that. Even if it ends. Even if he tells you it was your fault. Even if it does not end well. You should not come out of a relationship limping because you lost a piece of yourself in it. So expanding yourself. When you want to start dating and relating, that's expansion. You're no longer the best kept secret. You're expanding. You're magnified. Your relationship should make room for you. You should be able to show up in your relationships. One of the things stories that I tell, I'm going to give the Cliff Note version because I'm looking at the time, and I want to make sure that I keep this within an hour. One of the things that happened when I first met my husband, Robert, was, first of all, we met online, and our first face-to-face meeting was in a coffee shop. And I was really thinking he was really quite cute, sitting there, you know, waiting with his coffee, arm on the table, and all of that. The true substance of him wasn't that. It wasn't that he was early. That's great, right? It wasn't that we made a date and he showed up there. I had never met him before. He showed up. That's great. But the real test was when I was putting my coat on to leave, because I was clear about what I wanted in a relationship. Here's the expansion piece. I was clear. I wasn't waiting for him to give me what he wanted. I entered the room knowing what I wanted. I wasn't ashamed of it. I didn't try to hide it. I didn't try to apologize for it. And I didn't have to demonize or emasculate him if he did not share it. I knew I wanted a relationship. I was looking for long term, not just dating. I was looking for a relationship. So, when I asked him why he was on the dating site, and he gave me his answer, I listened intently to his answer, and I said, you know what? I said, you are a really nice guy. And I have thoroughly enjoyed my time with you. I said, but I have to be honest with you. I'm looking for a relationship. I'm not just looking for a friend. I'm not just looking for a date. I said, I got male friends. And the reason they're my male friends is because I haven't slept with them. And I don't want to. I said, I'm looking for relationship material. That's what I'm looking for. I said, and it's fine, you know, what you're looking for, that's great. I said, but I don't want to waste your time. And I don't want to really waste mine. You know, going on, and I was thinking to myself, I didn't say this to him, but the premise behind that is I had already done before that thing where I tried to talk myself out of what I wanted. And I had spent the time to know myself and to respect myself enough not to put myself back in that compromising situation, not to betray myself. So I was upfront about it. And as I was putting my coat on to leave, he jumped up and said, wait. Let me clarify what I meant. And what I learned from that is when you show up as you give the other person permission to show up as them. The only reason that he said what he said was because he had read a book that said you don't want to put all your cards basically on the table because you don't want to scare the woman off. He didn't want to scare me off, so he gave the answer that he thought was the best answer. But by my sticking to and staying true to who I was, it gave him permission to say, I want a long-term relationship too. I really do. I really do. He said, I just don't want that to be so much of a goal that we don't take the time to get to know each other and to know whether our relationship can be long-term. And when he came from that place of consciousness, when he came from that place of having something inside of him that mirrored the something inside of me, then I said, oh, okay. I said, okay, thank you for clarifying. And as I walked toward the door, he walked with me. And before I got in my car, he said, well, since we get along well and all that, he said, can I ask you on a date? Can I call you? I said, yes, you can. And here we are, happily married, going into our 4th year. And he is the MVP in my life because he makes it easy for me to be me, for me to do me. But what would have happened? What could have happened if I had gone to meet him without doing the work to know myself and without finding within me something that I respected enough to walk away from him for? As cute as he was and as much as we laughed and enjoyed each other, I was willing to walk away from him because I knew what I needed to do to be true to me. And so I've learned the way that you don't lose yourself is you have to be clear. You have to know yourself. And in challenging times, sometimes you have to pull back. Some of us pray, some of us meditate, some of us sit on the side of a mountain, some of us watch a sunrise. Whatever you have to do to get centered back into the self that you know, where you can tap into the power of your own voice and be able to bring that person to the table, even if it means that the eyes you're looking into, that you adore, the relationship you're looking at, that you so wanted to work, even if it means that person might look at you and say, I thought I knew you, but I can't be with that. You have to be able to let that person decide for himself or herself whether to continue with you as you or whether this is where they get off. Will it hurt? Heck yeah. Will you have to grieve? Heck yeah. But guess what? You will still have you. And people ask me when I coach them, especially those that have dealt with things that have eroded their self-esteem and their confidence, and they ask me, how do they get it back? You get it back every time you make a decision where you choose the truest representation of yourself. The divine gives back to you. He uses people. He uses the joy that you feel from what you do. He uses that check in your spirit that lets you know you're on the right path. Whenever you choose to show up, that's what vulnerability is, y'all. That's what courageous vulnerability, that's the vulnerability that Brene Brown talks about. True vulnerability is the courage to be yourself, to be authentic 24/7. That's what fills your cup. Whenever you choose what's authentic, you fill your cup. Whenever you make a decision and you show up as you fill your cup. Even when it's hard and other people are buckling, if you can stand for you when nobody else will or can, you're filling your cup. You can hurt, you can grieve without losing who you are. You can be sad without losing who you are. You can hate the relationship ended without losing who you are. If you will take the responsibility to know yourself, respect yourself, and expand yourself. Expanding yourself is showing up as who you are in this world, unapologetically, full of grace and purpose. When you stand up, letting your soul's desire be what guides you, what causes you to respect you, is how you show up for you. That's how you don't lose yourself in a relationship. I hope what I've said has blessed you. I hope those that will listen to the replay, that it'll bless you. Know yourself. Respect yourself. Expand yourself. That's the courage to be authentic. The commitment to be authentic. Does it take practice? Yes. Sometimes you'll get it right. Sometimes you'll get it wrong. But as long as your intention, you're committed to the intention of showing up, even when you get it wrong, you can always come back and say, you know what, I apologize. I said what I thought you wanted to hear. It was a default. I did what I thought would make you happy. I did what I thought I was supposed to do. But it didn't sit right with me. And now that I'm clear about why it didn't sit right with me, I have to say, I'm sorry I can't do that. I'm sorry I can't be that. I'm sorry I can't give you that. I'm sorry I can't commit to that. I have to be true to me. The right person will not only recognize it, but will become a participant in you filling them up and them filling you up. That's true of your love relationships. That's true of your friendships. That's true of the environment that you co-create for yourself. If you are committed to that, you'll start to see things change. Well, you know how I like to leave things. You don't need everybody. Just the right somebody. Later, y'all.